This time around, you have Zach Wilson going to the Jets instead. What has caused this change of heart?
It's a 50-50 thing, and you project a trade. Well, if you do that, is it a certainty? And that's when I kept thinking about it and talking to people. If it's not a sure thing, why am I doing it? So I think Kyle Pitts would look great in a Jets uniform. I would personally trade out of two. I would go with Sam Darnold. That's me. I think they still have not necessarily made that call. Who knows? Maybe Joe Douglas has in his own mind already decided that. But people around the league say it's a 50-50 deal. I mean, you move forward with Sam, you get a guy at 2, okay? Let's say Kyle Pitts. Say you just take Kyle Pitts at 2, or you trade off at 2 and you get Kyle Pitts, or a big-time receiver like Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith to help out Sam Darnold. You go with Zach Wilson, you lose Pitts, Smith, Chase, Waddle, all those guys. So, and then you're getting Zach Wilson, who's an unknown. At least you know something about Sam. So, again, I think this is a tough call. I stuck with it because I didn't want to project the trade, knowing this is basically a 50-50 situation.
Well, another thing that's surprising to me is that I believe that Sewell is the safest pick in this draft. I think you put him in and he plays 15 years and he dominates. And I was surprised at 5 that Sewell wasn't their pick, knowing that Joe Burrow, was sacked and was running for his life, scared straight, so to speak, behind the line of scrimmage. Can you see the Jets maybe dropping down or Sewell, falling outside of the top 5, or is he the best player and the safest pick in this draft?
That part's a great question. I think the opt-out complicated it. Remember, he had the 1 year where he was healthy the entire season. He wasn't the 1 year. So you got 1 year for a full season of tape. And then you look at where the Bengals are. They have JWill Williams, who was an early draft choice coming out of Alabama, left tackle. They feel pretty confident that he can be a left tackle. They bring in Riley Reif, the veteran, who can be their right tackle. Then you think about no A.J. Green. Here's Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith on the board over a guy who opted out. You think about what Devontae Smith did this year was spectacular. Kyle Pitts was unbelievable. And I think Kyle Pitts is that unique talent, guys, that the Bengals can use to really upgrade that offense and the weapon, give them a tremendous weapon for Joe Burrow, knowing now with Reif at right tackle and Jonah Williams at left tackle, they're going to be, they think, a lot better. As Jonah gets more experience, as Reif steps in at that right tackle spot. And the first round isn't the only pick you're making in this draft. There's the offensive line, particularly tackle, is pretty deep. The interior of the line is pretty good as well. So I think they can find a lineman or two after round 1 that can help that Bengal offensive line.
Big Mel, you got the Panthers trading up to get Justin Fields. How close do you see Justin Fields and Trey Lance? Are they that far off from each other?
Jay, I had Justin Fields as the second highest rated quarterback behind Trevor Lawrence. That's me. Now, when you help people in the league, it's Zach Wilson, and I get that. Zach had a great year against an inferior schedule, but I think when you look at where we are in terms of Trey Lance and Justin Fields, to answer your question, I look at competition. I look at 2019 when Justin Fields was spectacular. I'm not going to hold 2 subpar games in a COVID year with all the interruptions and uncertainty against Justin Fields. Trey Lance only had 1 game this year as well against a 1AA opponent, Central Arkansas. He was 15-30 with an interception. So if we're going to critique Justin Fields against Northwestern and Indiana, what about Trey Lance, against North Dakota State against Central Arkansas on October 3rd? And what about 5 games in 2019 where he was at 56-5 or less against 1AA competition? And he only had 17 starts, so he's only 20 years of age. So for me, if I'm looking at those two as pretty close, just Ohio State, North Dakota State, and more starts for Fields than Lance would tip the scales to Justin Fields over Lance. But I understand it's a tough call. Trey Lance is an enormous talent. I get that. But also, so is Justin Fields. Both great dual-threat quarterbacks.
Let's talk about another talent that I've seen fluctuate a little bit in the draft. You actually have him falling to number 15 to the Patriots, Mac Jones. What do you need to see from his pro day to secure to you, in your mind, Mel, that he is going to be that next system quarterback for Bill Belichick?
Jay, nothing, because I won't watch it. I could care less. I
love it, Mel.
Pro days to me, I'll give you some evidence to justify a rant about pro days. Okay.
Okay.
Jamarcus Russell, according to our Todd McShay, my good friend Todd, had the best pro day ever, right? Peyton Manning may have had the worst pro day ever. Bouncing passes, wobbly balls, GMs rolling their eyes. If it was Peyton Jones, not Peyton Manning, it'd be a 3rd-round pick. I've heard all this garbage and nonsense for 43 years now. So I learned after all that to say, really, pro days? Teddy Bridgewater, should he wear a glove? Did he wear a glove? Should the glove important? What's going to happen with the glove? Did you remember all that stuff with Teddy Bridgewater? He turned out to be a pretty good quarterback, right? Not great, but pretty good. A lot better than people thought when he said after the pro day, what's the deal here? So to me, guys, no, I don't think pro days, 40 times vertical jumps. Tom Brady had a 5.2 440 and a 24 vertical. He went in the late 6th round because of that. And people are saying now you can't win as a pocket guy. I heard people say, hey, as a defensive player, I'd much rather face the pocket guy than a dual threat. Would you rather face Tom Brady or Mitch Trubisky? Yeah, I mean, come on. So to me, I look at it and say, okay, are pocket guys dinosaurs? Was a 43-year-old Tom Brady a dinosaur? He just won a freaking Super Bowl.
Hey, Mel, you're a Ravens fan.
Wait, hold on. Well done, Mel. I gotta get you more fired up when you come on this show. That's incredible.
I was about to try. How was your Kyle Bowler breakdown?
I didn't like Kyle Bowler. That's what I got right. That's what I got right for it. I wasn't as high on Kyle Bowler as others were, but hey, they got Terrell Suggs that year. They went back in and got the quarterbacks. They hit on Terrell Suggs, T-Sizzle, and it didn't work out so well with Kyle Bowler. I was not high on Kyle Bowler when they picked him, but that was just me.
I just have one more surprise because I'm surprised that the Broncos aren't going to move up when you think about their skill players with KJ Hamler, Judy, Sutton, and Fant. You don't see them moving up to get a quarterback and moving to the top 5?
Just got 10 seconds.
That's a tough. I thought they would go to get Stafford or try to get Deshaun Watson, but Drew Lock shows some promise, and to get another young quarterback to me didn't make a lot of sense.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.